Y'all, it's your girl Charlotte Life Changer. If you're new to my stream, we do book club every night, except the weekends now. We're not turning up on the weekends. But we on part 11 of the Master Key System. Thank you for my bear, because you know I love bears the way I appreciate it. We're gonna dive right in. Introduction to part 11. This is the Master Key System by your boy Charles Honnell. Your life is governed by law, by actual immutable principles that never vary. Law is in operation at all times, in all places. Fixed laws underline all human actions. For this reason, men who control giant industries are unable to determine with absolute precision just what percentage of every 100,000 people will respond to any given set of conditions. This sentence, right? I done read this 3 times. And this sentence right here, it says the people that give the laws, right? It said giants, the control giants, they can determine with absolute precision just what percentage of every 100,000 people will respond to any given set of conditions. Is this because they know how people maneuver when laws are given? It is well, however, to remember that while every effect is the result of cause, the effect in turn becomes a cause, which creates other effects, which in turn create still other causes. See, it's because they know what the cause is. And so, because they know what the cause is, they know how it will affect people and how that effect right there turns into a direct cause again. So, that's how they can calculate how people will respond. Because if they know if they cause a certain thing to happen, then the effect is in direct relation to the cause. Pay attention when they be doing stuff, man. It says, which in turn creates still other causes. So that when you put the law of attraction into operation, you must remember that you are starting a train of causation for good or otherwise, which may have endless possibilities. Thank you for my hands. We frequently hear it said, a very distressing situation came into my life, which could not have been the result of my thought, as I certainly never entertained any thought which could have such a result. That's what we all be thinking. But we fail to remember that like attracts like in the mental world, and that thought which we entertain brings to us certain friendships, companionships, or a particular kind, and these in turn bring about conditions and environment, which in turn are responsible for the conditions of which we complain. So wait, that little sentence right there basically said you might not have directly thought of that situation that was bad, but you attracted that lame Joe into your life to create that bad situation because why? Either you didn't love yourself enough, so you attracted somebody who wouldn't love you. You didn't trust yourself enough, so you attracted somebody you couldn't trust. See, that you gotta think, man. You gotta think. You got this book calls you to think at every level of your life. I'm telling you, I've done so much thinking in this last 10 weeks. No, because you let her outside or in. What? What? Yeah, because you let the wrong person outside or in. But I've been thinking so much on purpose and really learning. Like this book causes you to, if you take this book for serious, you can't do nothing but learn. Oh, you said right in. You know, I type that again. You know, I read typo, but I can't read that. Okay, part 11. Inductive reasoning is the process of the objective mind by which we compare a number of separate instances with one another until we see the common factor that gives rise to them all. Huh. Damn, team. Induction proceeds by comparison of facts. It is the method of studying nature which has resulted in the discovery of a reign of law which has marked an epoch in human progress. It is the dividing line between superstition and intelligence. It has eliminated the elements of uncertainty and caprice from men's lives and substituted law, reason, and certitude. It is the watchman at the gate mentioned in former lessons. I told you before, the book said, about the watchman at the gate. And if you remember who the watchman at the gate is, it is the conscious mind. He is the watchman at the gate of the subconscious. He has to protect what comes into his gates. Again, it goes back to the beginning of this chapter when it talked about you might not have directly thought those in, but you thought the people or the places that have brought about those conditions. You got to start thinking on purpose and intentionally to make sure that you only get what you absolutely want. Ooh, but you got to gain control of them thoughts, man, at every level. When, by virtue of this principle, the world to which the senses were accustomed had been revolutionized, when the sun had been arrested in his course, the apparently flat earth had been shaped into a ball and set whirling around him, when the inert matter had been resolved into active elements, and the universe presented itself wherever we directed the telescope and the microscope, full of force, motion, and life, we are constrained to ask by what possible means the delicate forms of organization in the midst of it are kept in order and repair. So it went from flat to round that we see, but it had to stay in order and repair. So it repairs itself. I'm gonna have to read this chapter again because this chapter has been the most complicated one for me to understand. Like poles and like forces repel themselves or remain impenetrable to each other, and this cause seems in general sufficient to assign a proper place and distance to stars, men, and forces. As men of different virtues enter into partnership, so do opposite poles attract each other. Elements that have no property in common, like acids and gases, cling to each other in preference, and a general exchange is kept up between the surplus and the demand. As the eye seeks and receives satisfaction from colors complementary to those which are given, so does need, want, and desire in the largest sense induce, guide, and determine action. Okay, so this part I get to a certain extent. It's basically saying that we will attract things to us um based on our wants, our needs, what we see, what we do, and then based on how we think. So things are always being attracted to us. It's not even just what we think. It has a lot of other factors. And then we have to correlate when those things come in. Is it really good for us? Is it really good, the thing that you attracted? Because just because you attracted it doesn't mean you have to accept it. That is the watchman at the gate. His job is to say, okay, this is in front of me. Is this truth or is this not? Is this something I should accept and internalize? Or is this something that needs to be pushed away? Is this something, a situation that I can first see that is not going to help me, that is going to hinder me, hurt me, stop me from getting where I need to go? We have to think intentionally because just because it feel good doesn't mean it's good. Everything that glitters ain't gold. That was one of the cards that I read today. Everything that glitters ain't gold. So be mindful of the things that come into your eye gates and your ear gates. Make sure that it's truth that you're accepting. Because things will come and you make them truth or not. You make them true for you or not with the watchman. So it says, it is our privilege to become conscious of the principle and act in accordance with it. It's a privilege. It is your privilege to become conscious. That's why I said you shouldn't allow people the privilege to make you move one way or another, because you're giving them privilege to come into the to come into the conscious mind and say, okay, they said this, now feel like this. You don't get that privilege from me. Sorry, not sorry. You can't make me mad. You can't make me sad. You can't make me bust you upside your head. You can't make me shoot you. You can't make me stab you. You can't make me run you over with my car. You don't have the privilege to do that. Stop giving these people privileges over the way you move. Stop. They don't even deserve that. So what? So what? They don't agree with you. So what? They talked about you. So what? They stole your girl. She wasn't your girl anyway. If she could be stolen. So what? Next. So you gonna lose your whole life because your best friend took your girl who was for the streets anyway? I refuse. Just get both of them away from you, because you can't trust neither one of them. That's it. That's the end of the situation. Boom. You don't serve me no more. Goodbye. That's it. All that extra nonsense is for no, it's going to cost you more than what it was worth. So it says it's a privilege to become conscious or of the principle and act in accordance with it. Culver sees a tooth belonging to an extinct race of animals. This tooth wants a body for the performance of its function, and it defines the peculiar body it stands in need of with such precision that Cuvier is able to reconstruct the frame of this animal. Perturbations are observed in the motion of Uranus. Leverrier needs another star at a certain place to keep the solar system in order, and Neptune appears in the place and hour appointed. What would you look at that? Everything you wanted wants you. And everything knows that it has purpose and it will create the need for its purpose. That's why when they say your gift will make room for you, that is exactly this. Whatever is needed, it will form out of the void, even if it got to come out of nowhere. If it's needed, it will create what it is needed to sustain, regardless of what it is. That's why you can create the life that you desire, because even if you can't see it in fruition, you can create it out of nowhere. The universe will give you everything you need to create that desire that you want. As long as you don't quit, as long as you endure to the end, as long as you don't believe what the naysayers say, because they don't know what they talk about. No way. They don't even dream. They just be talking. So why would I listen to you? You have no dreams, no ambitions, no goals, and you want me to stop because you're scared. Bye. Not doing it. I'm going to keep going and see what happens. The instinctive wants the animal. The instinctive wants of the animal and the intellectual wants of Cuvier, the wants of nature and of the mind of Leverrier, were alike. And thus the results. Here the thoughts of an existence, there an existence. A well-defined lawful want therefore furnishes the reason for the more complex operations of need of nature. So it says well-defined lawful want. If you can define why you need this so badly, I will give you what you need. See, the tooth could have just been a tooth laying around, and it still wanted the animal that it saw itself to be connected to. But somebody had to think about it first, because it's nothing by itself. Again, the last chapter told us in order to create, you had to be a creation. What? So the tooth by itself fell out of a creation, but he's just laying there. Hey, Ty, fell out of creation. It's just laying there. It cannot recreate on its own. See, somebody had to come, a creator had to come and want the body to the tooth just as bad as that animal wanted to be recreated in a body. See, the creator had to put it in motion to create it, though. It wouldn't have been nothing if it just laid on that ground. We see this all the time. We're fossils. They do nothing. They are dead until a creator brings them back to life with the vision. How do you think we got all these statues with these dinosaurs? They took one piece that they found. They didn't find all them bones. Half of that stuff is fake. They took one piece and recreated it. They said, okay, if I got this piece, then I know that this piece got to look like this. And they traced it all the way back. They traced it all the way back to how do you make it and how it looked. You got to be a creator to do that. Okay, make sure you cook me some. You got to be a creator to do that. Period. So, having recorded correctly the answers furnished by nature and stretched our senses with the growing science over her surface, having joined hands with the levers that move the earth, we become conscious of such a close, varied, and deep contact with the world without that our wants and purposes become no less identified with the harmonious operations of this vast organization than the life, liberty, and happiness of the citizen is identified with the existence of his government. So, right? Thank you, Boo. So, what this is saying, right, is that we forget how powerful we really are. And we forget that we can really do things outside of what we see every day. And we forget so much that we just become norm. It becomes a norm. It says that we become conscious of the things on the outside of us, that we lose consciousness of the things on the inside. Hold the here truth. Hold the truth. Is that what you meant? It says we become conscious of such a close, varied, and deep contact with the world without, right? That our wants and purposes become no less identified with the harmonious operations of the vast organization than the life, liberty, and happiness of the citizen is identified with the existence of his government. Because you all know that we don't have life, liberty, and happiness on this mother's front drucker with the government. We really don't. But it says that we've become so accustomed with the outside that our wants and needs, they don't even get looked at anymore because we forgot to tap into the within, the inside, so we can make them happen. So they get lost in all that noise in translation. So now the people that have come into realization, but not all the way, they keep telling the universe, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, but they're not tapping in. They're only trying to tell it on the outside and they're only trying to move on the outside. They never go inside to figure out what it is that they need to do to get to the level to receive the things they asking for, because everything requires a new level. Everything requires a new you. When you say I want something and you don't have it now, there is a reason why you don't have it now. You have to get to a level to where you can receive what you're asking for. You're not ready yet if you're still asking for it, right? The stuff I'm asking for right now, I can't dwell here in this space to have it. I have to go to the next level. I got to go inside and figure out what is the things that are stopping you, not the outside. What's stopping me from being qualified to receive what I'm asking for? Oh, I need to look inside. Oh, okay. All right, that's it. So my dreams and goals can stop being lost in the noise of the world. They can't help me with what I'm looking for. Thank you for the hands. They can't help me what I'm looking for. They don't even know what I'm looking for. They don't even know what they're looking for. So why we keep going outside asking people what they think? What you think I should do? They not even thinking. How about you go look inside and you, because the truth is we know what we're supposed to be doing. I had this realization this past weekend. You know what you're supposed to be doing. And when you know better, you're supposed to do better. You're supposed to maneuver in that level. But you know what we do? Huh? We get complacent, we get comfortable, and we sit down. We sit down in our job, we sit down on our duty, and then we make excuses. I ain't about the excuse making. Nope. I seen it, I recognized it. Let's go. We're not doing that no more. Let's go. I seen it, I recognized it. Let's go. Right? Ain't no need to make excuses. Well, this happened because that. No, we fucked up. Excuse my language. We messed up. We did that wrong. Hold up. Rewind the tape. Let's play it back in our head and see where we stepped wrong so you can correct it. So now ain't no regrets. Ain't no feeling bad. Nah. Just correct and go. What happens is we do this. Oh my God, we did that. Oh man, dang. And then we sit still. How that's helping you? I thought when you make mistakes, it's so you can learn from them and move on. But I'll keep reading on because maybe that's not what we're supposed to do. I don't know. As the interests of the individual are protected by the arms of the country, added to his own, and his needs may depend upon certain supply in the degree that they are felt more universally and steadily. In the same manner does conscious citizenship in the republic of nature secure us from the annoyances of subordinate agents by alliance with superpowers. This says it secures you from annoyances of support subordinate agents by alliance with superpowers. See, when you tap in and you get outside of that, when you remove yourself from the without, you remove yourself from the outside world. That's where the annoyances is. That's where I'm not touching you. That's where that annoying crap is. It's on the outside. Boy, but when you can go all the way inside of you that you are completely protected from all of that nonsense, that's when you can dwell at your highest and you can get through anything that comes up on you. Make sure you make me some. Anything that comes up on you because you now have found the key to lock away all of the negativity, all of the things that would bring you down, all of the annoyances. See, the superpower is tapping in so that nothing or no one can get in the way. That's the superpower. The superpower is that I not be moved by the things going around me because they are out of my control most of the dang time. Most of the time, the things that bother us is stuff we can't even fix. We're not even paying attention to the things we got control over because we so busy worried about the things there's nothing we can do about. Wasting time. Then when we finally look up, we so broken because we never tap back into who we are that, oh, maybe it's the car tire. No, it's you, dummy. What's up, Finesse? It's not the car tire. It was you. You. Why you worried about the car tire? It's not the car tire. It's you. Because you allowed the car tire to stress you all the way out. You ain't go to work. You ain't eat. You ain't do nothing. All about this car tire. You still talking about the car tire. It's you. Right? Because the truth. You could walk to where you need to get a new tire, bring it back if that's what you had to do. But you'd have made every excuse of why this car tire is ruining your life. I don't know why I said a car tire, but whatever. It's ruining your life, and you gonna go sit down and you ain't gonna move because of the car tire. So everything gotta stop. The kids ain't gonna eat either because the car tire. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He said, stop talking so much and keep moving. Keep moving. I'm sorry. So it says that you are protected from the annoyances and the subordinate agents by alliance with superpowers and by appeal to the fundamental laws of resistance or inducement offered to mechanical or chemical agents, distribute the labor to be performed between them and man to be the best advantage of the inventor. If Plato could have witnessed the pictures executed by the sun with the assistance of the photographer, or 100 similar illustrations of what man does by induction, he would perhaps have been reminded of the intellectual midwifery of his master, and in his own mind might have arisen the vision of a land where all manual mechanical labor and repetition is assigned to the power of nature, where our wants, our where our wants are satisfied by purely mental operations set in motion by the will, and where the supply is created by the demand. Wait a minute. Where our wants are satisfied by purely mental operations set in motion by the will, and where the supply is created by the demand. And I had this realization the other day too. I said, "Hey, Shar, you know why you're not selling cakes? You're not making enough. You need to make cake. You need to have so much cake that you need to create the supply and demand. You have to create it. You can't be scared. I was scared. I was scared that I'm going to bake too much and I'm going to lose the money that I have, and I'm not going to have no money to bake no more when it's needed. But that's the wrong way to think. I'm supposed to say, bake all that shit that you got, excuse my language, bake everything that you got so it can be sold and got rid of. You have to create the supply and demand. Oh, that's how it worked. Yeah, that's how it worked. We've been conditioned and programmed to think negatively. Even my reading said this. Like, you got to change the way you think about abundance and money. Like, you're speaking it, but in your subconscious mind, you're still living a impoverished life. You're still afraid. You can't do it. You can't dwell in both. One is going to trump the other. And right now, that subconscious thinking that I wasn't thinking that I was thinking about, and the book said it in the beginning, you don't even realize that's what you're thinking about. But I'm like, oh, bake more cake. And it sounds crazy, but or do it. Because if there's no cake baked, then there's no supply in demand. You got to create the supply so there can be a demand for what you got. And then if it ain't selling, put it all in there. Somebody will buy it. Say, hello, I got all this cake left over. Who want to buy some? Even if it's at a discount, you still selling it, right? Oh, okay. That's what we're going to do then. That's what we're not going to worry about what we lost, because the truth is, I ain't been without. That's the truth. Even when stuff ain't done the right way or when I think it should be done, I'm still not without. Everything I need, I have, right? It might not be in the way that I want it, but I got it, right? I'm eating, I'm living, and period. So there is something, Shar, that you're not doing to give you abundance. You got fear. It's hiding. Oh, you've been masking it well. And this is the conversation you gotta have with yourself. Oh, you've been masking it well, but it's still sitting there rotting somewhere because it's showing. Remember, success leaves clues. When you ain't got no clues to leave, you ain't successful. So why? Ask yourself why. Oh, it's some hidden residue. It's some hidden residue of fear still lingering around, stinking. But I got it. I'm gonna bake more cake. Oh, I'm gonna bake more cake. Because we need a supply and demand. We got to create enough supply that there becomes a demand for it. Ain't no demand for nothing ain't baked. It's gonna give you crickets, just like you didn't bake. Cricket, cricket, cricket. Oh, you ain't bake shit? Cricket. Oh, well, that means that they ain't okay. Go back to sleep then and be broke tomorrow. I'll wait until you get it. How long it's going to take for you to get it, that you got some residue that's stopping you from getting what it is that you really want? Oh, when you going to be honest with yourself? When you going to look in the mirror and say, "Yup, I got some stinking thinking going on over here. That's stopping my blessings." Oh, and I got a harsh reality, a card today that said, "Sorry, you're not getting what you asked for and what you've been putting into the atmosphere. You're not getting it right now." When it said that to me, I wanted to cry, but I was like, "Oh well, there's nothing I can do." It told me. Do I quit though? Nah, we gonna keep going. Cause we gotta see when it's finally gonna come. Delayed is not denied. It just said not right now. So stop asking for that. And ask for something different. Do something different. Cause we sick of you asking for that. That's what it told me. I was like, mm. Anyway, however distant the land may appear, here we go. Induction has taught men to make strides toward it and has surrounded him with benefits which are at the same time rewards for past fidelity and incentives for more assiduous devotion. So even though it said you ain't getting it today, it's already giving you rewards to get you right to this point, but it's going to give you incentives to not quit. So I might not get what I truly asked for, but oh, if I stay the course and do what I'm supposed to do that lines up with where I'm going to get incentives. And we all know that incentives can add up to be great rewards if we stay the course. Oh, we know about incentives from work. We know that the first person to do such and such gets this incentive. So it incentivizes you to work harder to get to the end goal faster. It's the same thing with life, man. It's doing the same thing. It says, here we find a method, the spirit of which is to believe that what is sought has been accomplished. You got to believe where you going that you got it already. See, now I know that part. But the question was, did I believe that I had it for real, for real? Because we can say, hey, believe and become that person. But do you really believe that? Do you really have faith? Are you really utilizing it? Are you working it? Because the only way that you're going to believe that you are the person that you're looking for is if you work in that faith. Let's talk about it because the book going to tell you what it said, okay? It says, here we find a method, the spirit of which is to believe that what is sought has been accomplished. In order to accomplish it, a method bequeaths upon us both the same Plato, who outside of his sphere could never find how the ideas became realities. See, Plato didn't know about none of this, right? Because he was back before we started even giving names to it. All he knew is he wanted something, so he just started doing that. I just know that I want to be this, so I'm gonna start doing that. What I would think that they would do, right? That's what it's telling us. It says the conception is also elaborated by Swedenborg in his doctrine of correspondence. And a still greater teacher, he said, what things so ye ever desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them and ye shall have them. That's Mark 11:24. The difference of the tenses in this passage is remarkable. We are first to believe that our desire has already been fulfilled. So you got to believe that what you asking for, you already got. So that means you got to believe that you deserve it. You got to believe that you're worthy of it. See, a lot of times we want stuff, but then in our subconscious, we don't even believe that we deserve that. Speaking from self, we asking for something that we honestly don't believe that we deserve. So then the atmosphere is like that. It's confused. Like, wait a minute. Now, she done said she want this, but you see her sunbox? Her sunbox is skitting. It's telling the truth. And it say that she don't even think she worthy of it. So are we really gonna give it to her or no? Are we gonna just let her have a glimpse and take it back because she don't believe she deserve it, so we don't believe she deserve it. See, these is the conversations you gotta have with self, man. Do you believe you deserve what you asking for? What's up, sweet man Adam? You didn't change your name. Do you believe you deserve what you've been asking for? Because if you don't, you need to shift that, fix that, quick. Yeah, I believe I deserve what I ain't gonna say who I'm Mrs., but yeah, you darn right. I believe. Yes, I do. Yes, I believe that everything. I believe right now, today, and you got to be confident about it and go on about your business and make sure that that residue ain't lingering in the back. Let's go on to the next. So it says, we are first to believe that our desire has already been fulfilled. Its accomplishment will then follow. This is a concise direction for making use of the creative power of thought by impressing the universal subjective mind. The particular thing, I'm sorry, particular thing which we desire as an already existing fact. See, whatever we're desiring, we got to believe that it's fact. It's a fact that I am a millionaire. Like, let's stop saying I'm going to be. No, I am one now. How does a millionaire move? Go follow more millionaires. What do they do? Go do what they do. Even if you can't do it at their capacity, go do what they do. They're not frivolous either. I'm sorry. They not. They not. They be making sure that they got cash money. They don't be wanting to be in debt to nobody because they don't gotta be. A lot of them be wanting to be like cash money pay off. I don't want you coming back later. That's how you gotta be. Stop spending more than what you got. Start being more responsible. Start doing the things rich people do. Rich people don't spend on dumb stuff. They don't. They don't. Most of them don't. They invest often. So let's do what they do. I'm investing everything. Invest in my shoes. Okay, invest it. Buy gold. Save up to buy a piece of gold. Stop buying a whole bunch of junk. Save up and buy one good thing instead of buying a whole bunch of like 10 lame things. Save up and buy one good thing. Buy some art. Do something different like a millionaire would do. We are thus thinking on the plane of absolute and eliminating all consideration of conditions and limitations, and are planting a seed which, if left undisturbed, will finally germinate into external fruition. See, there's no mistaking it. Once you believe it, it's an absolute, it's a definite. It can't be no going back on it. Ooh, team, this is hitting. It can't be no going back on the thoughts that you thought about. It got to be absolute. This is what I believe, and that's it. I think the hesitation brings about the red. Damn. To review, inductive reasoning is the process of the objective mind by which we compare a number of separate instances with another one until we see the common factor that gives rises to them all. We see people in every civilized country on the globe securing results by some process which they do not seem to understand themselves, and to which they usually attach more or less mystery. Our reason is given to us for the purpose of ascertaining the law by which these results are accomplished. The operation of this thought process is seen in those fortunate natures that possess everything that others must acquire by toil, who never have a struggle with conscience because they always act correctly and can never conduct themselves otherwise than with tact, learn everything easily, complete everything they begin with a happy knack, live in eternal harmony with themselves without ever reflecting much what they do or ever experiencing difficulty or toil. The fruit of this thought is as it were, a gift of the gods, but a gift which few as yet realize, appreciate, or understand. The recognition of this marvelous power, which is possessed by the mind under proper conditions, and the fact that this power can be utilized, directed, and made available for the solution of every human problem is of transcendental importance. So, once you understand that you have the power to create a solution to every problem you've ever had, to do everything that you go up against easily without toil, like you got to believe that you're the best of the best of the best because you are. Once you believe that you are the best of the best of the best and you remember that and you always tap in and revisit that, guess what? Everything do get easy. Why would you think that you couldn't do it if you know that you're the best of the best of the best? That's why we got to stop looking at what the next person doing. That's why we got to stop comparing ourselves, because the truth is we are all the best of the best of the best if we tap into the best self that we're supposed to be. If you the best of the best of the best, you're the best person that you will ever be. No one can top that because no one can ever be you. So just because you are at the best of you doesn't mean that I can't be the best me and do what I'm supposed to do. That's what we do. We look at, oh man, they jump higher than me. Oh man, they run faster than me. Oh man, they bake better than me. Oh man, their decorations is better than mine. But first of all, ask yourself, are you operating at your highest capacity? If not, of course, that's why they're better than you. If so, they're not better than you. It just means you're operating at your highest capacity, because if you were, you wouldn't even be thinking or comparing yourself to no one. But why can't we all be the best of the best of the best? Because I'm sure your plan B, your team, no one can ever duplicate us when we strive to be our best selves. Somebody can easily duplicate us when we dwell in at a low frequency. They can. Oh, but when I tap all the way in, you can't be me for 1 second. For 1 second, you might can pretend to be me on a low vibration. But when I tap all the way in and tap into my superpower, how? How can you be me? How can you be the best me ever? No, you can't. So stop comparing yourself to the next smoker and get tap into who you're supposed to be at your highest level. That means you eat all the right things, you do all the right things, you walk on all the right levels, you go where you're supposed to go. You There's no limitation, there's no lack in your brain. You do everything the way it's supposed to be. That's when you dwell at your highest level. And when you dwell there, no one can ever touch your power ever. You will be the best of the best of the best. Not many people can say that because not many of us dwell at our highest level. We only utilize 10% of the 100% that we're given. Let that sink in. I'm almost done. We ain't going to be here long. It says the fruit of his thought. I read that. All truth is the same, whether stated in modern scientific terms or in the language of the apostolic times. There are timid souls who fail to realize that the very completeness of truth requires various statement, that no human formula will show every side of it. Changing emphasis, new language, novel interpretations, unfamiliar perspectives are not, as some suppose, signs of departure, but truth. I'm sorry, signs of departure from truth, but on the contrary, they are evidence that the truth is being apprehended in new relations to human needs and is becoming more generally understood. The truth must be told to each generation and to every people in new and different terms, so that when the great teacher said, "Believe that ye receive, and ye shall receive," Or when Paul said, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Or when modern science say the law of attraction is the law by which the thought correlates with its object. Each statement, when subjected to analysis, is found to contain exactly the same truth, the only difference being in the form of presentation. So this is we have to learn. We all have to learn. This is why tag is so important, because I'm not just talking to black people from America. I'm not just talking to Americans. I'm talking to everybody that comes into my life and they're from all over the world. Everybody has to learn the truth so they can share it with their downlines, their children, their offspring, the people that come after them. The truth has to be shared and it might have to be told in a different way so everybody can understand it. People be so mad about the Bible and the Quran and the Buddha. I can't expect the Indian to read the Bible when he was given the Buddha way or the Muslim way. But they all telling you the same thing. If you stop trying to divide everybody, it's all the same truth. Do unto others as you have done on yourself. And even this, faith is the substance of things hoped for, not seen. It's all the same. We are standing on the threshold of a new era. The time has arrived when man has learned the secrets of mastery, and the way is being prepared for a new social order, more wonderful than anything ever heretofore dreamed of. The conflict of modern science with theology, the study of comparative religions, the tremendous power of new social movements, all of these are but clearing the way for the new order. See, this book is so old, but it's speaking exactly to today. It's speaking exactly to today. How? Because history repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. That's what we got to understand. Once you understand that this shit already been done 85 million times before you even tried it, that should just make you fall in alignment even faster. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like if this person is from 19, when he from, my book don't even tell you all that, which it should. I don't know who put this book together, but boy, they ain't put nothing in here. No copyright, ain't nothing, ain't nothing in my book. Nothing. But I know it was written back in the 1900s, okay? And so if it's speaking to today, back then they already seen this happening. So why we don't just do what the book say? I'm gonna wait on your answer. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. Why you try to come up with an excuse of why we don't just do what this book say? Because they already seen what was coming, because they talking about it right now. The conflict of modern science with theology, the study of comparative religions, the tremendous power of new social movements, all these things are but clearing the way for the new order, new world order. They may have destroyed traditional forms which have become antiquated and impotent. Not impotent, it can't even get up. But nothing of value has been lost, though. Ooh. The way to say it might be old and outdated. I know, I'm sorry. The way to say it might be old and outdated, but what is being said has not lost any of its power, because the truth is the truth is the truth gonna always be the truth. Victor, 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 period. Plan B, I know you're not requesting right now. You know better. I'm almost done. You request after I'm done. Thank you for my roses all over my body. How you doing, Victor? And then it says, right, period, a new faith has been born, a faith which demands a new form of expression. And this faith is taking form in deep consciousness of power, which is being manifested in the present spiritual activity found on every hand. The spirit which sleeps in the mineral, breathes in the vegetable, moves in the animal and reaches its highest development in man is the universal mind. Do y'all see how it just brought back? I'm good, always good. Period, period, period. Do y'all see how I brought back the last chapter when the last chapter was talking about putting that seed inside the minerals, the ground, and then the ground gives the seed life in an environment to grow? Well, it's saying right at that very start, the minerals that the universal mind start right there. What? And then it gets transmuted through all of the stages of life. You got the I gotta just I can't even say I can't even get this out. A new faith has been born. A faith which demands a new form of expression, and this faith is taking form in deep consciousness of power, which is being manifested in the present spiritual activity found on every hand. But then it says the spirit which sleeps, the spirit sleeps in the mineral. So the spirit, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The spirit is sleep in the minerals, which is the dirt. And then it breathes in the vegetable, which is the seed coming out of the dirt. And it moves in the animal because the animal then ate the vegetable, and now you didn't ate the animal. So now the universal mind has went to its highest expression, which is you. And yeah, I'm just making it real simple and plain. But for real, so see, this go back to my question. Does everything have a spirit? Everything that lives. We ain't talking about the not talking about the phone and the stand. But if the spirit is hidden in the dirt, in the minerals, then everything that lives has a spirit. Now, my question is, oh, I got a lot of questions. We're not going to do it here though. Oh, I got so many questions. By far, the greatest discovery of all the centuries is the power of thought. I think I skipped the part because it says that the highest development is in the man is the universal mind, and it behooves us to span the gulf between being and doing, theory and practice, by demonstrating our understanding of the dominion which we have been given. By far, the greatest discovery of all the centuries is the power of thought. The importance of this discovery has been a little slow in reaching the general consciousness, but it has arrived. And already in every field of research, the importance of this greatest and all great discoveries is being demonstrated. You ask, in what does the creative power of thought consist? It consists in creating ideas, and these in turn objectify themselves by appropriating, inventing, observing, discerning, discovering, analyzing, ruling, governing, combining, and applying matter and force. This is why you have to be created in order to be a creator, because you have to go through all of these things to create. It can do this because it is an intelligent, creative power. Thought reaches its loftiest activity when plunged into its own mysterious depth, when it breaks through a narrow compass of self and passes from truth to truth to the to the region of eternal light, where all which is, was, or ever will be melt into one grand harmony. See, the thing about the truth is the truth is the truth. That when you dwell in the truth and you create from the truth, it's always going to work in your favor because that is dwelling in harmony. Remember the affirmation: I am whole, perfect, powerful, strong, loving, harmonious, and happy. See, that's dwelling all in truth, truth, and truth. It's got to work out in your favor when you dwell in the truth, because when you dwell in the truth, you become aligned with the truth. And nothing can come up against the truth. It just can't. It can try. It's going to try. But if you dwelling in the truth, you can't be moved. You won't be moved. Everything else will fall away first. It won't even be able to withstand. From this process of self-contemplation comes inspiration, which is creative intelligence and which is undeniably superior in every element, force or law of nature, because it can understand, modify, govern, and apply them to its own ends and purposes, and therefore possess them. Wisdom begins with the dawn of reason, and reason is but an understanding of the knowledge and principles whereby we may know the true meaning of things. You got to know the truth, man. Wisdom is the knowledge of truth. Wisdom then is illuminated reason, and this wisdom leads to humility. For humility is a large part of wisdom. See, just because you know the truth don't mean you gotta go smashing it over top of people's heads. Sometimes you just gotta be humble and watch some stuff unfold and just be there to, patch up the knees when they fall, sew up the little stitches from when they bust their heads a million times after you done told them, be a little bit of humble when you know the truth. And when you know the truth, you don't gotta get excited. You don't gotta get all revved up. You can just sit there real confident, like, okay, it's no need to. I don't gotta argue when I know the truth. Why am I argue with you? For what? You're only arguing with me because you don't know the truth. And you feel the need to, what is that? What did they say people do when they want to what is it? Defend. You don't have to defend the truth. You have to defend everything else though. So go ahead and be loud. I'm gonna sit right here and look at you and laugh because I already know what the truth is and you tripping. We all know many who have achieved the seemingly impossible, who have realized lifelong dreams, who have changed everything, including themselves. We have sometimes marveled at the demonstration of an apparently irresistible power, which seems to be ever available just when it was most needed. But it is all clear now. All that is required is an understanding of certain definite fundamental principles and their proper application. See, this is the thing. You got to get the knowledge, but then you got to know how to apply it and use it. That's the only way it's going to work for you. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but you don't know how to use it. You don't know where to apply it. Well, you're just as dumb as the fool who don't know. Applied knowledge is power, never just the knowledge. You can be a smart dummy. Those are the people that's on Jeopardy. They just know a whole bunch of stuff and they don't do nothing but go on the game show. Not saying all of them. Not saying all of them. Just saying some. Got a whole bunch of knowledge for no reason. I'm just going to read everything. You're not a billionaire, trillionaire. You're not operating that sense and that smarts in the right way, buddy. You're just not. And for your exercise this week, concentrate on the quotation taken from the Bible. Whatsoever things ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them and ye shall have them. Notice that there is no limitation. Whatsoever things, meaning anything you could think of, all of it, up, down, around, and back and forth, all of that, is very definite and implies that the only limitation which is placed upon us is our ability to think. Baby, stop limiting yourself in thinking. That's where we are failing. To be equal to the occasion, to rise to the emergency, to remember that faith is not a shadow, but a substance. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. The substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Death is not the natural process, whereby all material forms are thrown into the crucible for reproduction in fresh diversity. Team, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. That thing that I sent, and I told you the time to look to listen. That wasn't the right time. It was a little bit before that, but it talked about how death. Oh, it had me look at death in a whole different light. It says death is all the time that is in your past because you can't go back. That part of you is dead. When I've heard that, it said that we experience death every day and that people have a misconception of death because they think it's something that's coming later when it's happening every minute that passes by because you cannot go back. That part has died. Like I'm to the point where I gotta stop putting so much knowledge in me because I can't take it. It's knowledge overload. Not to say that you have to apply everything and believe everything. All I'm saying is it gives you a different perspective. And that is what we need to learn to do is be like willing to accept other perspectives. Because if you think of it that way, instead of thinking about looking forward to it, just think about, okay, all right, I know I'm not going to get this time back because it's going to die if I don't use it the right way. It's going to die even if I do use it the right way. So let me utilize it to the maximum abilities that I have so I don't waste my time before it dies. Oh my God. Yeah, I would say that I might need to take a break from reading, but I can't. I can't. I will not. I could, but I won't. I love it here. I love learning and seeing all this new stuff and learning different perspectives. You gotta look at that what I sent you. You gotta look at that what I sent you. It was, and at first I just thought it was talking about one scholar because I didn't read. I just started listening. And so I immediately honed in on the first person who they talk mostly about. But when it got to the other scholars, I was like, I went to look up all of them. We about to be reading more books than these other people. My boy Charles wasn't there. They be high in Charles. I don't know when he gonna pop up, but I know he gonna pop up. All right. But I know who was there in one of those, and I think we read about him. I gotta go back and listen because I can't remember all the names that was there. But do me a favor and go listen to that because yeah, when it talked about death and it gave a different perception